Hello, grade 9 visual arts students. I hope that you're doing well today. And I saw that some of you did hand in your elements and principles of design work, which is excellent. And I'll be looking at that over the next few days. Um, Today I have posted a new assignment and it's sort of like a photography scavenger hunt assignment just to practice sort of your camera angles and more of your photography skills leading up to your culminating assignment, which will be creating your own photo story. That will be released in a couple weeks. So just leading up to that, we're going to be working on some skills, skill building to get you to that point. So I hope you've had some fun with the photography lessons so far. This one, like I said, is more based on photo skills. So for this assignment, you are welcome to use a smartphone, which most of them have really good camera features, or you can use a little point and shoot camera that you might have around the house, or a more fancy DSLR camera that maybe you have or one of your parents have at home. So either one will do. So let me just get right into the lesson here. Oh, I'm gonna present over here. All right. Okay, so photography angles. So a creative use of camera angles is one of the quickest ways to add interest and variety to your photos. Even if you don't know how to use your camera very well, you're not a professional photographer, angles are easy and they're a good way to mix up your perspective and add some interest to your photos. All you have to do is move your camera higher or lower to dramatically change the angle of your photo. So don't be afraid to actually move your camera, move your phone, move your body. So get down low to the ground, get up high. If you're outside, maybe you're standing at the top of some stairs, maybe even in your house. So don't be afraid to move that camera around to get a dramatic angle. So the first angle we're going to look at is a bug's eye view. Um, so much like the title implies, you're going to get down low to the ground and you're going to tilt your camera upward. So imagine the perspective of being a bug on the ground. I have to get rid of this L here. But yeah, so you're small and you're looking up. You could also be right down on the ground and looking straight across. That's kind of a neat angle as well. So here's some examples. It's kind of cool when you do photography or architecture this way. So looking directly up at a tall building. Maybe you live in an apartment building and you can go outside and try to take that perspective of the apartment building. It really creates a dramatic effect. If you're doing a portrait and you are doing a bug's eye view angle with a portrait, it can make the subject look very important. So it gives them an air of importance. So you'll see a lot of politicians when they're having their portraits taken, they might do this angle, and often they're looking upward to make them almost look like godly. You can see it here looking up at a tree. That's kind of a neat one that you can try as well. Looking up at a pet, you can try that. Make sure it's your pet, not a stranger's pet, because these look like pretty big teeth here. All right, so the second angle we're going to look at is called bird's eye view. So for this one, you take the picture from high above. So you're standing high above for this picture. So here's some examples. Obviously, this one looks like it was taken from a plane or really high up. Obviously, you're not going to do that, but more realistic one might be, feeding a pet, maybe taking a portrait from above. We already did some of these bird's eye view pictures with your flat lay photography. So that is exactly bird's eye view. So you already have some experience with that camera angle. Wide shot. So here you are capturing a large area. Oftentimes it's used outside to capture, usually the horizon line is in it. So the horizon line is that imaginary line that separates the sky from the ground. So we can see it here. This one's kind of obscured by some clouds. Here we have a lot of, this looks like it was done with a wide angle lens. You can tell because it's kind of curved to fit as much information in the frame as possible. And with a wide shot, everything is in focus. So if you're not able to really go outside and get a wide angle shot, you could try to get a shot of your whole living room or your whole bedroom. That would work too. So just trying to get as much information in that shot with everything in focus as you can. So macro shot is kind of the opposite of that. So you're going very close to your subject and so close that you can really get a sense of how that would feel. So with here you can see the little fuzz on the leaves, on the leaf here. You can see the texture of this fabric. And then you can really see every little petal, every little detail of this flower. So for macro shot, you need to get very close to your subject. Some cameras even have a macro option. Even smartphones have this nowadays, and usually it'll be represented by the by a flower is usually the icon that represents a macro shot. So I'll have a little picture of a flower. Rule of thirds is not really a camera angle, but how you frame your photograph, but it's also very, very important. And I'd like you to try to think about the rule of thirds when you're taking your photographs. So the rule of thirds refers to how you frame your subject when you're taking the photograph. In photography, the rule of thirds is a type of composition in which the image is divided evenly into thirds. So you have lines going horizontally and vertically. The subject of the image is placed at the intersection of those dividing lines or along one of the lines itself. So I've posted some examples here in this presentation. So the highest point of interest in your photograph should be on where one of these lines intersects, or at the very least along one of these lines. So what makes the rule of thirds definitely part of a photographer's handbook is that we don't want our subject to be right in the middle, because for some reason to the human eye that's really boring. So we like to see things that are slightly off balance. It just triggers our attention and draws our eye to that subject and makes it way more interesting. Okay, so here again we have another example. So very monochromatic image, except we have this dark silhouette of the tree, and that is right in this intersection of the rule of thirds. So if you imagine these lines not being there, this tree would definitely draw more interest than if it was smack dab in the middle of this landscape. And one more example here of the cat. So we can see the cat is in focus. The background is very blurred. We have the interest in the bottom right third of the image of the square, and it makes the image a lot more successful. Okay, so your task is to represent each of these 5 aspects of camera angles and framing by taking your own photographs. For this assignment, try your best to use your own photography. If you're really stuck, you can use an image from the internet. So if you don't have access to a phone or a camera and you're just using a laptop, then you can take images from the internet. But please try to first use your own photography. So you're going to use the doc that's attached to this assignment to insert your image. Make sure you submit 2 images for each angle, and make sure you label them. And I'm making a copy of a doc for each student, so all you have to do is click Turn In on the top right-hand corner of your page, and that's it. So don't share it with me, don't email it with me, just turn it in. Very simple. Okay. So this assignment is a little bit easier, quicker than your last assignment. So you're taking about 10 images and you're labeling them and you're handing them in. And really it's just to get you get your skills sharpened with your framing and your photography, and for you to have a little fun. Get out there, be creative, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. As always, if you have any questions, please just shoot me an email or put a comment on our classroom, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, hope everybody's doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye guys, take care.